So QIANTIANI has entered the arena. The left-hander who's been smooth, who's been fast, is playing against someone who's caused a lot of trouble for players all over the world. The golden girl of Indian table tennis, Manika Batra. Kirill, the coach, right there next to her for this best-of-5 battle. First player to win 3 games must win by 2. Will win the match. Ma Junfeng right there for QIANTIANI. So as the ball rolls in, here's the tail of the table. And whoa, faster ball. These two have played 3 times. That is the most perfect stop I've ever seen. I'm not distracted by the ball. You should keep your eyes on the ball, right? 2-1, 2 out of 3 attempts. QIANTIANI has won the world rank number 12 versus the world rank 29. I'll be very curious. QIANTIANI's got a chill way about her. As a lefty, she's got a very unusual opponent, Manika, with long pips and no sponge on one side. Pailut Luangbiliachai, happy he's safe and well. Anyone watching from Myanmar and Thailand, we're sending you our best wishes, of course. Hope that you're able to enjoy this now. Pailut Luangbiliachai has been at the top of the game, training other umpires around the world for years. Coin toss time.
Red, Batra, black. Red with the toss. Service side.
So QIANTIANI wins the coin toss, and Manika chooses her side of the table. They'll have 2 minutes to warm up. I'm your commentator, Adam Bobrow, and joining me in the cockpit here of table tennis, it is my friend and fellow commentator, Fraser Riley. Welcome back, Fraser.
Great to be with you again, Adam, after Chongqing. Can't wait for this week of table tennis, and what a match we have on our hands here.
Yeah, it should be interesting to see the style matchup here. Quite unusual. At 25 years old, QIANTIANI has been way up in the top 10. 3 titles to her name, 9 years of pro already. She's been in and out of the spotlight a bit, but very few can stay in the spotlight for China. Just a few that stand out. And here's a look at her last 3 Champions results. Quarterfinals in the Champions Macau 2023. Semi-final in the Champions Montpellier 2024, which was incredible to watch. And then not long after, the Champions Frankfurt 2024 quarterfinals. So she's delivered at these Champions events.
Yeah, she's a fantastic player. Former world number 5, just outside the world's top 10 now at 12. Be interested to see how she gets on here against this tricky customer in Manika Batra.
World ranking and age, both 29. Manika Batra. The black rubber is the spinny rubber, which she turns around for the warm-up. That lighter, hollower sound is because the backside of her racket has very little weight on it. A thin top sheet of long pips that reverses the spin of the ball, sends it knuckling back. It comes in topspin, it comes out backspin. She can attack with it, and she can twiddle the racket to attack with the black side. And with $500,000 in prize money to motivate these two, 1,000 points to the champion, the best equipment in the world. There's a lot to play for here on day 1. Can you recall watching these two play?
I think their last meeting, if I'm not mistaken, was last year in Montpellier in that quarter-final. The QIANTIANI won in 3 straight games. And you can see here, maybe the fans have done their homework.
I like it. 72% of the fan vote behind QIANTIANI, and 28 for the 29-year-old world rank number 29, Manika Batra. Interesting, these are the 2 most populated nations on the planet, India and China. And at the World Championships in Korea last year, India made it very close in the women's game. Cast your fan votes at worldtabletennis.com or the WTT app. Now the best of 5, QIANTIANI to start it off. Good spin to the forehand. The counter spin game. One thing that Manika can do in general is use the pips to set up a slightly higher, uncomfortable shot that she can come in and kill.
If she can test those in and out transitions, Manika Batra, just dink it so tight, make it really awkward, disturb the rhythm constantly with this style.
First point, we've seen the pips come out to play, and they do their job, constantly changing. It sounds like a knock on the door. That's the vibration right through to the wood of the blade.
Nicely put.
Thanks.
You can see Manika Batra inviting the attack with that service option.
Yeah, how many players do you see twiddle, turn their racket 180 degrees after they've tossed the ball, before they contact it? Manika, very tricky.
You've got to be so relaxed to face a player like Manika Batra. And I think that Chen Chen-Yi embodies exactly that characteristic. Really unassuming, cool cucumber, the lefty.
Oh, back edge of the table, but the counters to be calibrated with the racket the way it was. Chen Tianyi, much like the fans who voted on this, has done her homework, no doubt about it.
Wow, how's that come back? Right through the back of the ball. It was good placement and power from Manika Batra with that forehand.
Flat hits like that to keep them out of the net on the other side takes a lot of focus. And the same pattern here, spinny on the first, flatter hit for the second, but it's going to be a high-risk shot time and time again. Ooh, as awkward as can be, a slow spinny one comes back, and that rare sound you hear is the sound of a very sturdy and stable net post.
Came off so unusual there, such fine contact from Chen Chen-Yi. Not sure how intentional it was, but it was very effective.
8-1.
Funny, in the last match we saw a lot of that with Fin Liu against Nick Lum. Slow, spinny shots. I think slow and spinny, for me, is one of the best ingredients in the game. One of the most unsung heroes you can have in your pocket.
1-9.
Yeah, when you're wanting to battle, then all of a sudden you've got so much time on your hands, but such fine margin for error because of the rotation. It's anything away from usual training pace.
Not to mention you're behind the ball. Another twiddle there on the serve. Combination was good, but looking down at the table as if to say, what have you done to me here? The bounce, not exactly what she had expected, it appeared. Chen Tianyi mixes it up well right to baseline.
Let 1 Chen.
9 game points for the player on the receive, Chen Tianyi.
10-2.
Good job there using the pips. Now, one thing in general, you'll see this from men and women players in terms of the push game. I was actually watching a video on WTT's social media recently of Shin Yu Bin and how she gets to the ball right off the bounce. The players move so quickly for that extra time and advantage. Wide it is, inside out to one of the biggest wingspans in the game. You've seen two of the tallest women, the two tallest at the pro level in the world in this session already, from Sofia Polkanova and her big win, and Manika Batra out here with longer pips than Han Ying. But it's Chen Tianyi with the bend on that ball to take game number 1 in fashion. Domination in the first. Off to a strong start. We'll see what Manika can do in game number 2 in this best of 5. We've seen more one-sided game 1s that do not lead to an overall victory for a player, and that is why we watch till the end. Movers and shakers of all the women that are here for this event, the top ranking movers led by Satsuki Odo, the world number 8 up-and-comer for Japan, Huang Yihua of the Chinese Taipei team, a veteran of the game. Always a pleasure to watch. Britt Ehrland, Mama Ehrland, strong fighter, looking good on the table, has been just playing incredible table tennis recently. Kwai Man, so just a question of time for me before her and Sha Wang Manyu, 3 in that mix for world number 1. Srija Kula, Du Hoi Kem, Chen Tianyi there, and Manika Batra, both 2 of the top 8 in terms of recent history. Their trajectory is upward, and here they are.
Second
in
game,
a situation where only one will move on.
All.
So it's Manika Batra to start it off. Sharp and sponsored here.
1 love.
This is impressive for me because in a topspin to topspin game with no pips involved, Chen Tianyi is one of the best in the world, and Manika just won, going toe-to-toe.
It was impressive. It was great recovery there to play consecutive forehands. Not easy at all, especially when she's already close to the table.
A good long serve there to get her second serve converted to a point.
Let love 2.
Play table tennis. Do you say that in your head every time you hear love 2?
Yeah.
Sweet. Awesome.
You're not the only one.
Sweet.
1-2.
I was thinking before the match started, how much does Chen Chen even need to opt for the power play? you don't think of her as a outstandingly powerful player. The timing's superb, of course, but she's just so spinny.
2-all.
And there is something to say for how you use your body. Mima Ito, you wouldn't imagine would be the arm wrestling queen of the world, yet she can hit the ball as hard as just about anybody in the game. Timing is a big factor. QIANTIANI has that as well.
Yeah.
And wingspan. She's one of the taller Chinese players, and here she gets a nice long stroke, puts a lot of spin on this shot.
Very elegant, very agile player, QIANTIANI. And she's so good at playing the parallels, even when someone's played cross table. I find that amazing. To play that shorter side under pressure.
Yeah, I'm very curious what the future holds for QIANTIANI. Not too shabby in the serve department. When's the last time you saw we're in game number 2? She's got 100% serve success. That means every time she's served, she's won the point so far. I guess you guys know what 100% is. Don't have to go too far in math for that.
5-2.
Continuing that streak compared to the 40% on the other side. Manika still equaling her score from game number 1, much earlier part of the game. I like this setup, and she has to, in the blink of an eye, decide when to twiddle that racket, if ever. Keep your eyes on it. Red on the back there. Switched, and she attacked with the long pips to win that point. She took a risk.
Yeah.
That's not what she wanted, and she still managed to win it.
That awareness of the equipment that she's using, just for it to get to such an instinctive level.
To try and put this into perspective, watch the twiddle. Okay, that's just the twiddle afterwards. We'll talk more about it in general. But if you give someone, any of these players out here, Manika Batra's racket, and say try attacking using the red side, they're going to hit the ball into their own side of the table, not even the net. It's so different. You have to be so aware at every moment.
Yeah. A lot of people talk about using pips as almost a cheat code in table tennis. Far from it. Far from it. It has its limitations if you don't use it to perfection.
A lot of work for a point, the top spin game, and look at the score line here. She was down 2-5, and after being beaten 11-2 in game 1, ties it up at 6 points apiece at the second towel break. Resilience, Kirill's been working for quite some time. The Belarusian practice partner, coach. She's had a good team alongside her for quite some time, Manika. She's been working incredibly hard.
6-7.
I've known her for a long time. This hasn't been an easy last 6 months of her life, but she just keeps getting tougher and tougher. I think you never know what life is going to throw at you, and you have to keep just flying around the world and competing.
6-7.
Good serve there with the long pips. Again, twiddle at the last moment.
Wow.
Again, a double twiddle. Twiddles it on the way down, and after the toss, turns it back around to serve with the long pips.
I love this.
That just leaves so many question marks as to how to contact it on the other side. She's got her thinking. This is what she wants. Slowed down, hesitating. Manika is lasered in.
Look at how that ball just fell through there.
Momentum, 6 of the last 8 for Manika.
9-7.
Changing it up always. The depth, different placement, different rotation.
Yeah, thinking outside the box, staying loose. Really impressed with this.
Slow and spinny, whatever the apology was for. She's got 3 game points. Was down 2-5, has won 8 of the last 10. Was beaten 11-2 in game 1. This still is not over, but she's got a big serve here to come. Well received.
10.
Serve off the long pips. QIANTIANI right into that elbow. People often ask, is it better to be tall or not so tall in table tennis? And I think for every advantage, there's a disadvantage. It's a very equalizing sport in that way. But one disadvantage is that crossover, big target on the elbow. 1 game point saved. 2 more to go for Batra. There it is, handles the
11,
kick serve with a short
game to
stroke.
Batra.
That's what to do against a kick serve. Make sure you hit the nail right on the head. And that short stroke does it. Secures game number 2. So, it's anybody's match here. 1-1. Got some eyebrows in the commentary box up.
Yeah, what an amazing comeback there from Batra. Who knows what's going to happen next?
Stick around to find out. Game 3, we'll see who takes the lead.
And later, with your pimples,
Time.
you try to find your attack, of course. Come on, Manika. You will do it. Fight. Show it.
Words of encouragement and also a delicious Indian dish, that chole.
Third game, change to serve, love all.
You didn't. Sure, every time I go to India, I do. All right, stretching it out to stay loose. Manika on the receive. It's QIANTIANI to start it off. This one sits
One
up enough.
love.
She earns herself the opportunity. I feel like coaching, so much of it is empowering your player. I say that because QIANTIANI here, very little hesitation, but it's a different quality shot.
Love
Same here in
2.
the second point. What would you have said if you were Ma Junfeng between games 2 and 3?
Try and play as deep as possible on the table. Because Batra sometimes obviously will try and come in, absorb the play.
Left,
Tough for her to do that if you're
love
playing
2.
against someone who can spin deep.
Love 3.
So far, so good. I think this is generally good advice against anyone who's using something that reverses the spin, giving you something funky. It also makes it tougher for them to keep it short. So buys you a little bit more time to see the ball, recognize the rotation.
4 love.
This is a great start from QIANTIANI. I guess it depends what approach she wants to take in the rally. She could get a ball she's a bit more accustomed to, playing into the forehand. That said, Batra can twiddle, as we see, and make things pretty tricky.
5 love.
The threat waiting on the other side. You could see the idea, the wheels turning there for that forehand side of the table from Batra.
Love
Good
6.
combination, testing the wingspan and getting Manika to lean just a little bit to cover that wide forehand.
QIANTIANI just so stable, so well balanced here. I always find the free arm of her interesting. She's always got the finger pointing up like she's about to call for a let.
Oh man, I don't know if you've ever played someone like that, but it can be really distracting if you're not aware of it.
Yeah.
You stop playing, you're like, what? And they're like, what? What do you mean? Oh,
Love
brings it back.
7.
A bit of defense with the flat hits coming in. And still not a point dropped from QIANTIANI. I'll be curious to see how the serve percentages must have changed now. A little bit of an edge there to change the trajectory of that ball. There it is, 75 to 42. QIANTIANI, after being 100%, has had a dent in the record here. One game on the scoreboard. Even if this game's 11-0, doesn't matter. It's games, not points.
At 1.
And it won't be There Is No Bagel. A breadstick on the screen. Batra, their first point here, fashionably late to game number 3 party. This was clever. QIANTIANI brings in Batra for a later shot and then sends her on the chase. When you can keep your opponent a step behind, you're in good position.
Yeah, used the peripheral brilliantly there. That was crafty.
2-9.
Bit more on the parallel here to the short side. Second point. Similar score line to game number 1.
Left 2-9.
Nice forehand from Batra. Good fight here. Came across that one a little bit there with the pimples and then fired it up the line. I've always been impressed with the forehand of Batra. I feel like that's an area for game that she's really, really developed.
I agree.
10-3.
It is an interesting point to make, but if you only have one side of your racket for attacking, you better be as versatile with it as possible. And as you mentioned, she really has developed, but it's 7 game points for her opponent here, the upper seed, QIANTIANI. That's all she needs, 11-3. For the second time this match, there has been domination. One side of the table has always won, as it always will be, but it's the same side every game. And it'll be Manika Batra's turn to be on the other side of the table here. So QIANTIANI hydrates, talks to Ma Junfeng. I think she's going to look to stay free, stay loose, stay confident. Stay right here, game 4 coming up.
First game, Batra to serve, love all.
Game 4, last chance here, fighting for survival, the twiddling golden girl of Indian table tennis. Ooh,
love 1.
Comes down on her side of the table after the net. Point to QIANTIANI.
Like the intention there from Batra. Tried to continue to apply pressure.
Slows it down a little bit. Again, the sound, it actually sounded like it was hit with the long pips, but we could see for ourselves. Again, it's just a lighter racket because of that backhand, or red side, let's say.
2-1.
Good long serve, bottle challenge, and as you called, Fraser, right to that baseline.
Yeah, it's just tough for Batra to deal with. Well, particularly when there's no giveaway as well. With the foremotion. I love this shot here. She misleads Batra by coming so quickly to the left before the point of contact. Draws Batra to that side. It's a little shimmy.
Little ODB there from QIANTIANI. The timeout here.
Timeout, Batra.
That shimmy shimmy yaw can be pretty intimidating, can be pretty tough to deal with. It's amazing at this level how players dissect the game to find new ways to gain advantage.
But don't you think you're not giving the ball even to go up? You directly want to empty ball and you directly want to like. Yeah. So you can hit. Yeah. But okay, but don't you think that to avoid this, give here maybe the ball? That's okay, let's just start. Like you block and you went in the rally, it was very good point. You just missed this back. But it was good. That you also can block. Okay, she will start there, you will just block or you will counter. If she will start back and you will just be here. I don't think about it, yeah? It's okay, no problem. Keep fighting, no?
Time!
Come on, man, come on.
Awesome to hear. Kirill spent enough time in India. He actually has a bit of an Indian accent, which I'd never heard before. Little fun. From Belarus to India.
Wow.
1-3.
Stark contrast.
Yeah, it's fascinating. I guess that's the power of the English that you hear, where you hear it and whatnot. But the conversation about how to use the pips. Perfect start. And when the top spin comes in, she needs less backstroke So that forehand, just a quick short stroke to counter, and it works out well. Well handled, good defense. Chen Tianyi, after a parallel shot comes in, sends it back deep to the backhand.
Bit of flair there. Snazzy shot. Felt like he was saying to Batra, don't be afraid to let her in first, to attack first. Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure, but...
5-2.
Yeah, it was tough for me to gather a ton. I definitely sensed, in terms of how to hit the ball, where to bring the pips in. But yeah, it would make a lot of sense when you are playing somebody who's fast and smooth. Sometimes, as Ma Long showed us against Fan Zhendong in 2017, this idea of play for positioning, let them take the big swing first and then catch them while they're recovering. Recoiled a few times, but with the racket high, Chen Tianyi just blocks everything back in this rally.
Adjusting her shot there against the sort of slightly more flat hit of Batra.
Left 2-7.
Heavy spin here. Manika Batra, again, two tall players out here, but she's got more wingspan and that much improved forehand in recent years. Perfect balance, the wide stance there. She's covered in position. Tough to read, Chen Tianyi. This is what you talked about earlier with the opening of the shoulders right before contact to mislead.
Yeah, a very elusive play.
3-9.
And at the second towel break, Chen Tianyi with the spin game. Ma Junfeng saying, you're doing everything right. All that we've talked about, you've put into play here. She cleans both sides of the racket. She's won 6 of the last 8 points. Momentum for Chen Tianyi. Good point here for Manika Batra. I think the interesting thing for me about that point is even if the ball comes up a little bit higher to the backhand, there's a safety that Chen Tianyi feels knowing that one side of the racket's defensive. How many times have we seen that as she earns 6 match points where Chen Tianyi has played a fast brushing shot where it's a fast racket speed, but the ball sits up a little bit on the backhand and still doesn't cost her anything.
Let 10-4.
It's not a coincidence. It's intentional play from the player with 6 match points. On top of the bounce, Manika withstands that inside-out forehand this time around.
Crazy that even came back. Did well, Batra there, to not admire her own shot. Came in off that high one, shallow one.
Oh, down the line, parallel. Gets back the edge that was taken against her in the last game, but 3 in a row from a long, fast forehand, impressive.
Starting with that slower one, letting the ball drop off the half long. Confident play, caution to the wind.
Timeout, Chen.
And a timeout here for Chen Tianyi. It's nice to be in a position where you can have a few points scored against you, still have 4 match points left coming back from your timeout. Little tough to hear the actual voice there, but the body language seemed pretty clear in terms of no need to rush.
6-10.
Relax. Can be important to stay fluid, keep your options. Manika to serve. The setup was perfect. The QIANTIANI manages to survive from behind the table. Very impressive recovery. The defense turned into offense. QIANTIANI manages to get through India's golden girl 3-1. 11-2, beaten 11-8 in game number 2, then 11-3 and 11-6. Comes right out of her timeout and captures the game and one of the more extended points of this match.
Yeah, great finish.